The person mentioned in this post is fine with me talking about this without his name being used. I often listen to scary stories on YouTube and always wonder whether they are real or not, but I can assure you, this one is. I am a 16-year-old teen living in the UK, and this, well, happened about 30 minutes ago. The idea of deep web always interested me. I am that kid at a party watching a guy snort coke but never do it myself. Not because I am scared, I just rather not wrong myself. About a few months ago, my friend sent a link to what we thought was an Instagram post to our group chat. When I clicked it, it asked me for some sort of permission, so me being the safer type, just locked my phone and got on with the day. About a week passed, and when around my mate's house, I asked him about the link. He smirked and replied, "Let me show you something, but you can't tell anyone." I joked that he'll take me to his room and touch me, but he just smirked, looked down and walked towards his room silently, so I followed. He booted up his throwaway laptop and said, "What I'm about to show you ranges from mildly to highly illegal, so under any circumstances are you to link my name to this. Understood?" I nodded and sat down on his bed beside him and proceeded to observe quietly. He said as his computer booted, "Have you ever been on the dark web?" I said, "I have never been, and that I wasn't interested in getting in trouble if that's what it would end up being." He said it was fine and opened a browser I would later learn was Tor. He asked me if I remembered that link I asked about behaved just a little bit differently than one should expect. "Proceed," I said gently in a monotone voice, pretending not to be worried, and carried on looking at the screen. He typed something up into the browser and opened a website to which he had entered some sort of code. The website spat out a few sets of numbers and full stops ordered in RAWs. He said the link I sent out was an IP grabbing link. It obtains the IP address of the device that the link was opened on. He pointed out that the amount of rows roughly equaled the amount of people in our group chat. He said, "These are the IP addresses of your guys' device. Now look." He copied one of the rows and opened another tab on which he pasted a number and hit search. A screen appeared, revealing a bunch of information about the device. It said, iPhone 8, iOS, as well as a network provider, but also more worrying information like if their screen was on and the orientation of their device. The one that creeped me out the most was the location, which pointed at our hometown we lived in. At this point, I was really worried, and with a raised voice I exclaimed, "What the fuck, dude? Why did you want this information?" Despite my emotion, my friend grabbed my arm and put his hand on my mouth, telling me to shut up as his mom was downstairs. He said, "Bro, if she finds out we're both dead." So I closed my eyes for a second, took a few breaths, and calmly said, "Explain." "Thanks to the encryption I use, these IP addresses are safe and only I can access them. This is a little experiment I've been running to see if this thing works, and I need to know how reliable this is." At this point, my friend could clearly see I was in a bit of shock, so he offered to show me the more entertaining cliché side of the dark web. We went through various websites selling cars, countless types of drugs I haven't even heard of before, which made the previously mentioned coke snorting seem lame. On a popular selling website called Silk Road, he showed me cocaine bricks the size of mini fridges and cartons of weed the size of armchairs. It all seemed very interesting and exciting to the point that in my free time I couldn't stop thinking about it. So back to this week. I just got what I treated as a throwaway device after talking to my friend. I've installed some of the software required to browse the dark web and started surfing. A few pages of Silk Road and stuff. I decided I was done, so I closed it all up, disabled VPNs, and forgot about it. I didn't go through any red rooms or CP websites. I tried staying safe. I thought I was. So I'm watching PC videos and I get an email from an address and domain I do not recognize. The email was titled with a bunch of numbers with seemingly no meaning to them. It was out of place, so I began feeling uneasy as I remembered my recent ventures, and what I found inside terrified me. This email said, "Victim information," and proceeded to list all and I mean all banking information as well as other stuff like my address and my mother's surname. At this point, I'm shitting bricks and speed dialing my bank, fearing for my savings. "This is an automated service," the robot-like voice said. I've heard it countless times and knew that if I spoke, it would automatically skip the message and proceed to listen, so as calmly as I could, while feeling like I'm going to throw up, I said, "I would like to report a case of bank information fraud and would like to speak to an assistant." Thankfully, I was on the phone to a real person within a minute. Kind old lady seemed very concerned and with my permission has quickly frozen my card in my account as the account was also in jeopardy. When we ended the call, I felt so relieved and happy to know my funds were finally safe. I collapsed onto my bed in exhaustion. Now technically I'm all good, but the question remains. If the person wanted to sell my CVV info, why did they go out of their way to find my email I never used for the dark web and let me know they fucked me over? That's not even for profit. That's just messed up as they wanted to fuck with me. Trust me guys, no matter how bored you get, never go on to the dark web. You'll never save them. Let me start this off by saying that it is imperative that you stay off the dark/deep web. No matter what anyone tells you, no good can come from using it, and I'm about to tell you why. I was 15 at the time. I had come home from school on a Friday afternoon ready to relax, kick back, and enjoy the short break. I had started using code about a year prior and was practicing it daily. Now, I had known about the dark web before this took place. I would sometimes buy weed off of it, but that was the extent of it. This particular day, however, I decided to venture further and really take a look at the dark web. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with the iceberg diagram representing the internet's content. For those who don't know, the surface web contains about 10% of the internet's content, while the deep and dark web take up the other 90%. I was ready to see what it really held. I heard stories about what goes down on the deep web, murder, inhumane torture, CP, etc. But I didn't really believe that they were all legit, so I hopped on Tor and began to see what I could dig up. I started off by going on the hidden wiki and browsing through various websites, most of which contain illegal things such as drugs, hackers, and hitmen for hire, and lots of CP. I clicked on a random forum link which took about a minute to load. It was a forum where people could pick a topic they wanted to talk about, such as politics, dealing with mental health, etc. I noticed one of the topics was a pedo forum, and I don't want to even go into detail on what I saw there. There was one particular one that caught my eye. The link was all in red while the rest were all black. It said, "Not for the weak. Enter at your own risk." Curious as to what this was, I clicked on the link and it brought me to a forum that had only one link on the whole page. I clicked on the link and it brought me to a chat room. I realized that nobody was saying anything in it, only sending links. This set off alarm bells in my head because I had an idea of what was on these links. I wish I had listened to my gut feeling, which was telling me to close out while you still can. However, the ignorant, curious teen took over me and I started setting up some protection for myself using the code I had learned. I later realized this amateur coding I did would not protect me from these advanced people with malicious intent. I clicked on a random link and a page loaded surprisingly fast. It looked to be another chat room. I went to type "hello" or something, but it would not let me. I sighed and began moving my mouse to go to the previous page when a noise went off. I had received a chat. The message said, "Hello new user, I see you have found my site. Would you like to continue?" I tried typing again, but I still couldn't. The next message sends chills down my back, and my hands are shaking just recalling it. It read, "No son, not the keyboard." I tried turning off my computer, but of course nothing worked. Another message popped up saying, "I guess I'll take that as a no." The screen suddenly changed and a video began playing. It was a black screen, but I could hear a deep male voice say, "Unfortunately for you, You did not have a choice. I grabbed a sticky note and put it over my webcam, and the voice on the screen said, "Ah, so we're playing games now, huh?" The video then began to change, and I realized the man was taking his hand off the camera. He was a short man, maybe 5'11", but that brought me no comfort. He held up a knife and said, "Name any body part." I then, for the first time, noticed a cloth in the corner of the room, covering something up, which I could only assume to be a body. I had enough. I unplugged my computer and lay on the floor panting for hours until I could finally get up. I now suffer from anxiety and won't touch a computer unless I have to. Just be safe out there, guys.